Hello and welcome to an episode of Archery Accessories ad nauseum. Do I really want another initialism? Hello and welcome to a product overview / mini review of the Plural Designs USA HFE OnneX Arm and Barrel Kit. That's a mouthful. The link to the Plural Designs website is in the description. I'm probably going to have it rotating its own little window over here. I ordered a turntable display and it's not here yet, so that's the best I could do. This video is intended to outline the features and applications of this product, which is brand new to the market. Plural Designs was nice enough to send me the kit so I could evaluate it and give suggestions on things that might need to be changed or improved. So I believe I am the first archer on YouTube to get my hands on one of these. Now, as a guy who frequently neglects to showcase his own products in his videos, as well as being repulsed by the thought of announcing something as a real game changer, I don't know if I'm the most suitable person to unveil someone else's work, but I'll do my best. I'm just going to tell you what it is, what it does, and what it doesn't do. There are areas where this system has advantages over the stock components, and a few where the stock thumb barrel and peg system may have a slight edge. I will highlight those as I go through my analysis. So my disclaimer is going to have to be a little different this time. The items I'm evaluating were sent to me and I did not purchase them. The designer is a subscriber to this channel and I was given free rein to review his stuff the same way I review everything else. So I'm going to do my best to still provide an even-handed objective assessment. I think disclosure of one's partnerships and sponsorships is important so the audience can decide how honest the opinions of the presenters are. Because some guys, they swoon over the products, they think it's great and all that, and then you find out they sent it to them or the company's paying them to review them. So how much credence do you actually put in that? So while I'm on the subject of disclosing, I might as well also disclose that I sent Plural Designs a separate evaluation of his product before I put out this video and provided recommendations on things that should be done to the current product as well as suggestions for products that could be offered in future. My most pressing issue with the current offering was addressed and corrected, so I have to give Plural Designs credit for accepting criticism and acting upon it. Not many companies are quite so receptive. So long story short, I still plan on only offering praise to the praiseworthy as well as delivering my own brand of constructive criticism. So now let's actually talk about the product. HFE is short for Human Factors Ergonomics, and that initialism is defined as the application of psychological and physiological principles to the engineering and design of products, processes, and systems. It's the interface between man and machine, and it's also what the designer does for a living. I'm not sure if he wants his name out yet, so I'll stick with calling him Plural Designs or the Designer. Regardless, he is, pardon the expression, one smart cookie who knows a lot about the process that goes into the manufacturing of precision metal parts and also who happens to have discovered compound archery fairly recently. I think he said he's been in it about a year so far. During his first year participating in this hobby of ours, he found some aspects of the equipment he was using insufficient, so he decided that he would make a better version of it himself. His first of hopefully many offerings to the archery industry is the HFE-1. The HFE-1 is an all-stainless steel replacement for the stock thumb barrel assembly for the Stan OnneX, and the kit consists of a trigger bar, a thumb barrel, and the hardware to install them. The trigger bar is designed to follow the lines of the OnneX clicker, but is compatible with all models and sizes of OnneX, including the standard thumb, clicker, and resistance. It can also be used on the OnneX hinge as a pulling post or to hold down the draw control safety. It is not currently compatible with the Stan Lynx, because the trigger stem on the Lynx, or thumb peg post stem on the Lynx, is the older design similar to the SX3 and the shoot-off and the Element, and they redesigned the OnneX to be sort of similar to what they did with the Perfex, just bigger. But the thumb pegs on the Lynx and the OnneX are interchangeable, which is why my one OnneX has a shiny Lynx thumb peg. So the pegs are compatible, but the stems are a different shape. The thumb barrel that comes in the kit is 1/2 inch in diameter and has a more aggressive knurling than most of the thumb barrels that I've used, except for maybe the ex-Oki aftermarket ones. The outside edge of this prototype I received had a sharp edge on it, but the production models will be shipping with the edges of the thumb barrel beveled and softened. The mounting hole is drilled in the center of the current version of the thumb barrel, so it can only be set in line with the adjustment tracks. The trigger bar is bare uncoated stainless steel and sports either a machined finish or something a quick Google search yielded as a hairline finish, which is a bit finer than a brushed or satin finish. The holes in the mounting screws are fully deburred, and the edges on the trigger bar are a little sharp, but not uncomfortable. I don't know if there are plans to bevel those as well, but it really wouldn't hurt to do so. The trigger bar is mounted on the OnneX's trigger stem using the same size 632 button head cap screws, I think they're 5/16, that are used for the stock thumb barrel post. I chose to replace my stock screws with socket heads so I could use a larger Allen key to torque them down as much as is required to keep them from shifting during use. The stock fasteners on the OnneX, the ones that take a 5/64 inch Allen key, well, they suck and are not well suited for the task for which they were assigned. The socket heads that I'm using now are a little more utilitarian looking, but they do a better job on the finger extension as well. The HFE-1 is designed to provide a greater range of adjustment to position the thumb barrel everywhere from up above the tension adjustment screw and down very close to the trigger stem. This is accomplished by sliding the thumb barrel up or down one of two tracks machined into the trigger bar instead of having a thumb barrel sit on top of one of two non-adjustable posts. I believe Stan has an extra long thumb barrel post available for separate purchase, but it's not included in the kit for the OnneX, so that gives you 6 potential combinations of post height and thumb barrel size, not including the tilt adjustment from the back. The tracks on the HFE-1 provide 9/16 of an inch of adjustment per track, so it should be possible to set it where you want it regardless of the size of the OnneX on which it is mounted as well as the length of your fingers. You can dial in the HFE-1's thumb barrel in ways the stock system cannot accomplish as a consequence of its design. The stock system does have a few advantages over the aftermarket, so you kind of have to decide, do you want to keep using the stuff you already have or upgrade to something that has a little bit more fine tunability? In terms of rearward angle adjustment range, the HFE has about 30 degrees of available tilt above the spine of the release. The stock components do offer a little more in that direction, so if you like to set your thumb barrel so it sits at the base of your thumb, you might find yourself needing to bend your fingers and bring your thumb to it instead of vice versa. That's one of the nice things about stand releases is you essentially bring the thumb barrel to wherever it is you want it to sit. This one's currently set up so it sits at the base of my thumb, and I can pretty much just draw with a flat hand and then just settle right in. The HFE-1 comes up a little bit short in that, so it's mostly set up for guys who like to set their pad of their thumb on it or guys who like to settle it into the crook of the first knuckle. Getting it in here, you kind of have to, if you draw flat, you kind of have to shift a little bit in order to get it there. So it comes up a little short in that range in exchange for being able to really fine-tune your thumb barrel. Another trade-off of the current version of the HFE-1 is you do lose the multi-axis adjustability of the stock system, so if you have a preference for that feature, it is worth taking into account if you're considering this current version of the HFE-1. That being said, future versions may offer additional options for adjustability. Archers whose optimal thumb barrel position ends up leaving some of the trigger bar exposed above the thumb barrel can experience a secondary benefit of being able to use the exposed area as an indexing ledge to acquire the thumb barrel at full draw and set their thumb in a consistent, repeatable location similar to a gas pedal on the side of a competition handgun. Of course, recoil mitigation is not a thing in archery, depending on who you ask, but it is nice to have a tactile reference point to help you guide your thumb into position on the thumb barrel without worrying about setting off your release prematurely. You can find it, come to full draw, bring your thumb around, find that, get your location, and then wrap it around. For some of us, myself included, when we use a thumb release, there is something of a cognitive speed bump between coming to full draw and anchoring and then getting your thumb into contact with the thumb barrel. I've seen a lot of guys at tack and local shoots hovering their thumbs like this and then slamming them down when they're ready to loose their arrow. Ideally, what they should be doing is laying their thumb on the barrel or wrapping it around it and pressing, squeezing, or pulling through in a controlled fashion. That being said, one man's shot process is another man's target panic, and a lot of those trigger punchers did better than I did at 7 Springs. That's something I'm planning on rectifying the next time somebody points a camera at me at a local shoot or public shoot. With the HFE-1, I found myself anchoring and then tapping that exposed part of the trigger bar with the side of my thumb and then using it to guide my thumb into position. It more or less functions as an anchor point for my thumb, and that is a tool that I'm finding to be worth the price of admission, and something I haven't seen yet as far as accessories go. It's at this point in the video that I will have footage of me on screen trying to record myself drawing, anchoring, and demonstrating this, and I could not have made a shot less flattering to myself if I was standing next to one of those height measuring sticks every convenience store has, because I'm short. Anyway, now does this mean we have a new product designed to cure target panic? No, probably not. But it could help you get your thumb wrapped around your thumb barrel instead of hovering over it. What you do with it once it's there is going to be up to your level of self-control. The price of the HFE-1 OnneX trigger bar and barrel kit is $65 plus shipping, so it is not an inexpensive upgrade, and I can imagine some archers being turned off by the price at roughly 1/5 to 1/4 the price of the release on which it is mounted. Do I think it's worth it? Yeah, I think so, and after having tried it, I would buy one if I hadn't been sent one. Probably going to end up ordering at least one more. Whether it's worth the price for someone else is going to come down to individual preferences and whether you find value in what it offers over what you already have, because the stock system isn't going to cost you anything extra. To recap, the HFE-1 is the first aftermarket Stan OnneX trigger bar of its kind. It offers the ability to fine-tune the position of your thumb barrel. It is constructed entirely of stainless steel, when a lot of the competition, aftermarket anyway, is 3D printed or aluminum. It has advantages and disadvantages over the stock components. It is proudly made in the United States, which tends to carry a premium these days, and there is currently nothing else like it on the market. So if you have an OnneX and the interface between the release and your thumb is not as adjustable as you would like, hop on over to Plural Design's website and check out what they have to offer. Without spoiling any surprises, I think some very interesting things are going to come out of that workshop, and I think he's going to be one to keep an eye on. I know a few things that he's working on, and there aren't a whole lot of people coming up with genuinely new ideas, and some of the things he's run past me so far are actually new ideas. So it'll be interesting to see what he thinks of next. But those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments. Until next time, take care, stay safe, and happy hunting.